I am not here to waste your time. See this. You're in the middle of a heated moment. Someone just said something that cut deep. Your chest tightens. Your fists clench. Your mind races with all the devastating things you could say back. And in that split second, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to an explosion. Words you can never take back. Relationships you can't repair. Respect you'll never recover. The other path? It leads to something most people will never achieve. True power. Not the fake power of dominance or intimidation. I'm talking about the real power. The ability to remain calm when everyone around you is losing their minds. The strength to choose your response instead of being hijacked by your emotions. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Anger isn't your enemy. It's a tool. But right now, for most people, it's a tool they don't know how to use. So instead of wielding it with precision, they let it detonate randomly, destroying everything in the blast radius. Their careers, their relationships, their reputation, their peace. But it doesn't have to be this way. What you're about to discover are 7 ancient strategies, refined over thousands of years, that will transform how you handle anger forever. These aren't feel-good platitudes or anger management cliches. These are battle-tested principles used by warriors, emperors, and philosophers who understood something profound. Controlling your anger isn't about being weak. It's about being unshakable. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete framework for transforming one of your most destructive emotions into one of your greatest strengths. Ready? Let's begin. Strategy 1. Intercept the physical uprising. Here's something most people don't understand about anger. Your body reacts before your brain has even finished processing what happened. Within milliseconds of a triggering event, your nervous system launches into emergency mode. Your heart rate surges. Stress hormones flood your bloodstream. Your muscles tense for action. Blood rushes away from your thinking brain toward your limbs, preparing you for fight or flight. This is primal programming, incredibly useful if you're facing a physical threat, but absolutely catastrophic when you're in an argument with your spouse, dealing with a difficult coworker, or stuck in traffic. Here's what most people do. They let this physical escalation run its course. They feel the heat rising, and they ride that wave straight into destructive action. By the time they try to think rationally, it's too late. The body has already hijacked the mind. But there's a different way, and it starts with understanding this crucial principle. You cannot think your way out of anger when your body is in full revolt. You have to physically interrupt the cascade before you can mentally redirect it. The ancient philosophers understood this instinctively. They recognized that wisdom begins with physical control. So here's your first weapon: conscious breathing. Not the shallow, rapid breathing that accompanies panic. Deep, deliberate, diaphragmatic breathing that sends a signal to your nervous system that you're safe. Try this right now. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for 4 seconds. Then exhale completely through your mouth for a count of 6. Feel what happens in your body. That slight relaxation in your shoulders. That settling in your chest. That's your parasympathetic nervous system activating. Your built-in calming mechanism. This isn't about suppressing anything. It's about creating space. Space between the trigger and your response. Space where choice lives. Because here's the key insight. Anger itself isn't the problem. It's acting on anger while your body is in crisis mode that destroys everything. When you learn to calm your physiology first, something remarkable happens. Your thinking brain comes back online. The situation that seemed absolutely intolerable 30 seconds ago suddenly becomes manageable. The devastating comeback you were about to unleash reveals itself as petty and destructive. This is what real strength looks like. Not the ability to hit harder, but the discipline to pause in the storm and wait for clarity. Anyone can explode. Children explode. Animals explode. But it takes genuine mastery to stand in the fire and choose stillness. Start practicing this now, before you need it. Take 60 seconds right now, wherever you are, and practice that breathing pattern. 4 in, hold 4, 6 out. Do it 5 times. Because when the real moment comes, you won't rise to the occasion. You'll fall to the level of your training. Control the body first. Everything else follows. Strategy 2. Dismantle the internal narrative. Let me tell you where anger actually lives. It's not in what happened to you. It's in the story you're telling yourself about what happened. Someone cuts you off in traffic. That's just a fact. A car changed lanes. But your story? That disrespectful idiot did that on purpose. He thinks I'm nobody. He's treating me like garbage. Now you're furious, tailgating, laying on the horn, ruining your entire morning over an interaction that lasted 3 seconds. Or your partner makes a sarcastic comment. The words themselves? Relatively harmless. But your interpretation? She never appreciates anything I do. This is just like her mother. I'm always the bad guy. After everything I've done, this is the thanks I get. And now you're in a full-blown fight over what exactly? This is the mechanism of anger. It's not the event. It's the elaborate meaning you've constructed around the event. And here's the liberating truth. You control that meaning. The ancient philosophers had a term for this. They called it false impressions. Mental images and interpretations that we treat as reality when they're actually just stories we've invented. And once you see this clearly, it changes everything. So here's your second strategy. When you feel anger rising, immediately strip away the narrative and look only at the observable facts. Not, he disrespected me. What specifically did he do? He spoke 7 words in a particular tone. That's it. That's the reality. Not, she doesn't care about me. What actually happened? She looked at her phone during our conversation. Full stop. Notice what happens when you remove the interpretation. The anger loses its fuel. It can't sustain itself without the story to feed it. Because here's what the story does. It loops. You replay it, refine it, add details, build evidence, recruit supporting characters. You turn a momentary incident into an epic saga of injustice. And with each replay, the anger intensifies. But when you cut the story off at its source and deal only with bare facts, there's nothing to loop. A single action, stripped of interpretation, simply isn't that interesting or emotionally charged. This takes practice, because your ego doesn't want to let go of the narrative. Your ego loves being the wronged hero in an ongoing drama. It feeds on righteousness and victimhood. But your peace, your actual well-being, requires you to be ruthlessly honest about where the facts end and your imagination begins. Try this. Next time you feel anger, take out your phone and type out only the verifiable facts of what happened. No interpretations, no assumptions about motives, no predictions about future behavior. Just what a security camera would have recorded. You'll be shocked how short that list is, and how quickly your anger deflates when you stop feeding it fiction. Remember, you're not denying your feelings. You're refusing to amplify them with invented narratives. There's a massive difference. Strategy 3. Embrace radical expectation. Here's a question that will reveal everything. Why are you angry? If you dig deep enough, the answer almost always comes down to this. Reality didn't match your expectations. Someone didn't act the way you thought they should. Life didn't unfold the way you believed it would. The universe failed to comply with your personal preferences. But here's the hard truth. Your expectations are irrelevant to reality. The world operates by its own laws, not your emotional preferences. And every moment you spend angry about this is a moment you spend arguing with what is. The ancient philosophers practiced something revolutionary. They expected difficulty. They expected unreasonable people. They expected setbacks and frustrations and injustice. Not because they were pessimists, but because they were realists who refused to be caught off guard. Think about it. When does anger actually arise? It's always in the gap between expectation and reality. You expected smooth traffic. You're angry when it's congested. You expected gratitude. You're angry when you get criticism instead. You expected competence. You're angry when you encounter incompetence. But what if you fundamentally adjusted your expectations to align with reality as it actually is, rather than as you wish it would be? What if you woke up expecting that someone would be rude to you today, that traffic would be terrible, that technology would malfunction, that people would be selfish, short-sighted, and occasionally cruel? Not because you're becoming cynical, but because you're becoming prepared. When you mentally rehearse difficulty before it arrives, it loses its power to destabilize you. You're not shocked when the difficult person shows up. You've been expecting them. You're not outraged when plans fall apart. You already considered that possibility. This is mental armor. It doesn't make you hard or cold. It makes you unshakable. Here's how to implement this. Every morning, spend 2 minutes visualizing potential frustrations you might encounter. Be specific. That coworker who always undermines you in meetings? They're going to do it again today. That friend who's chronically late? They'll be late again. That project that's already behind schedule? More delays are coming. Now, here's the crucial part. As you visualize these scenarios, practice your calm, measured response. See yourself maintaining composure. Watch yourself choosing patience over reaction. Feel the satisfaction of remaining centered while chaos swirls around you. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. And when you're prepared, you're powerful. The very things that would have hijacked your day become opportunities to demonstrate your discipline. The world doesn't need to change for you to find peace. You need to stop demanding that it operate according to your emotional requirements. Expect reality to be messy, people to be flawed, and circumstances to be challenging. Then, nothing can shake you. Strategy 4. Transform opposition into training. Let's talk about the people who trigger you. The ones who seem to exist solely to push your buttons, test your patience, and challenge your composure. You probably think of them as obstacles, annoyances, problems to be avoided or eliminated. But what if I told you they're actually gifts? Every person who provokes you is revealing exactly where you're still vulnerable. They're showing you the cracks in your armor, the weak points in your character, the places where you haven't yet mastered yourself. And that information is incredibly valuable, if you're wise enough to use it. The ancient philosophers understood this deeply. They didn't wish for easy circumstances or agreeable people. They knew that difficulty forges character in ways that comfort never can. So here's your fourth strategy. Stop viewing difficult people as enemies and start viewing them as trainers. They're not obstacles on your path. They're the path itself. That toxic coworker who constantly undermines you? They're teaching you patience and strategic thinking. That family member who pushes every emotional button? They're showing you where you need stronger boundaries. That stranger who cuts you off in traffic? They're giving you a real-time opportunity to practice non-reaction. This reframe is transformative because it shifts you from victim to student. You're no longer being attacked, you're being trained. And the best part? Your trainers don't even know they're training you. They're trying to get a reaction, but instead, they're making you stronger every time you don't give them one. Think about it, like martial arts. You don't get better by training only with people who are gentle and accommodating. You get better by sparring with opponents who challenge you, who expose your weaknesses, who force you to level up. Life is doing the same thing. Every difficult interaction is a sparring session. Every moment of provocation is an opportunity to test your discipline under pressure. Here's how to implement this. The next time someone triggers you, immediately reframe what's happening. In your mind, say, "Thank you for this training session." I know it sounds absurd, but that simple reframe completely changes your neurology. You shift from threat response to growth response. Then ask yourself, what is this person teaching me right now? What weakness are they exposing? What can I strengthen? Maybe they're showing you that you still care too much about others' opinions. Maybe they're revealing that your patience is shallow. Maybe they're exposing that you tie your peace to external validation. Whatever the lesson, receive it, learn it, integrate it, and watch yourself become increasingly difficult to disturb. The goal isn't to win the argument or prove them wrong. The goal is to become so internally solid that their attempts to provoke you just bounce off harmlessly. And every time you achieve that, you've won something far more valuable than the argument. You've won another piece of yourself. So thank your difficult people. Not out loud. That would be weird. But internally, genuinely thank them for showing you where you still have work to do. They're making you formidable, one provocation at a time. Strategy 5. Channel the energy outward. Here's something crucial about anger. It's energy. Raw, powerful, primal energy. And energy always needs somewhere to go. Most people make one of two mistakes with this energy. They either explode it outward indiscriminately, destroying everything in the blast radius, or they suppress it, forcing it down, where it festers and eventually erupts in destructive ways, either toward others or toward themselves. But there's a third option that almost nobody considers: channeling the energy into productive action. The ancient philosophers understood that stillness doesn't mean inertia. It means controlled power. Like a river, calm on the surface, but powerful beneath, constantly moving, constantly creating. When anger arises, you've got fuel. The question is, are you going to let it burn your house down? Or are you going to use it to forge something valuable? Here's your 5th strategy. The moment you feel anger rising, move. But move with purpose. Not pacing in circles while mentally rehearsing the argument. Not stress scrolling on your phone. Not sitting there stewing, replaying the offense over and over until you've worked yourself into a rage. I mean physical, demanding, useful action. Clean something, build something, fix something. Go for a run, not a casual jog, but a hard run that demands every ounce of your attention. Lift heavy weights, chop wood, organize your space. Do something that requires your full physical engagement. Why does this work? Multiple reasons. First, intense physical activity literally burns the stress hormones flooding your system. You're giving your body a legitimate outlet for all that activated energy. Second, productive action redirects your focus. It's nearly impossible to mentally spiral while you're physically engaged in demanding work. Your mind becomes occupied with the task, breaking the anger loop. Third, and this is the most important, you're transforming destructive energy into something constructive. Instead of burning a bridge, you're building something. Instead of creating damage you'll have to repair later, you're creating value. There's a profound psychological principle here. Action dissolves emotion. When you move from passive stewing to active doing, the emotion has somewhere to go. It gets metabolized through effort instead of stored as toxicity. I've seen this principle transform countless lives. The man who learned to go to the gym whenever his frustration peaked and ended up building his best physique. The woman who channeled her anger into deep cleaning and created an environment that became her sanctuary. The entrepreneur who used his frustration as fuel and built an empire. The energy is the same. The direction is everything. So, create a personal protocol right now. Write down, when I feel anger rising, I will immediately, and list 3 demanding physical activities you can do. Make sure at least one is available no matter where you are. Maybe it's push-ups. Maybe it's a specific cleaning task. Maybe it's a walking route. Whatever it is, commit to it. And the next time anger shows up, don't fight it. Fuel something valuable with it. Anger hates purposeful movement because movement breaks its spell. The emotion wants you frozen in indignation, endlessly replaying your grievance. But you're not going to give it that satisfaction. You're going to use that energy to become stronger, to create more, to build something better. Take the fuel. Use the fuel. Let nothing go to waste. Strategy 6. Eliminate the ego's demands. Now we're going to address the root cause of most anger, your ego's insatiable need for recognition, respect, and validation. Be honest with yourself for a moment. When you get truly angry, what's really happening underneath? Strip away the surface justification, and you'll almost always find the same culprit. Your ego feels threatened. How dare they speak to me that way? Don't they know who I am? I deserve better treatment. They should show me more respect. After everything I've done, this is unacceptable. Notice the common thread? Every single one of those thoughts is rooted in entitlement. Your ego has created expectations about how the world should treat you. And when reality doesn't comply, anger erupts as a defense mechanism. But here's the liberating truth the ancient philosophers discovered. If you lower your sense of entitlement, you exponentially raise your actual power. Think about it. When you believe you're entitled to constant respect, every slight becomes an emergency. When you think you deserve recognition, every moment of being overlooked becomes an insult. When you expect appreciation, every instance of ingratitude becomes a personal attack. You've created a prison where your peace is hostage to how other people behave. And guess what? You don't control how other people behave. So you're trapped in perpetual vulnerability. But there's an escape route. Kill the ego's demands. What if you operated from this premise? You're not entitled to anything from anyone? Not respect, not appreciation, not recognition, not consideration. Anything positive you receive is a bonus, not a baseline requirement. I can already hear the objections, but I do deserve respect. I am worthy of appreciation. And sure, in some abstract philosophical sense, maybe you are. But here's the question. Is it worth your peace? Is being right about what you deserve more valuable than being unshakable? Is standing on principle more important than having actual power over your emotional state? The ancient philosophers chose power. They recognized that the less you need from the external world, the more freedom you possess internally. Here's what this looks like in practice. Someone insults you. Your ego wants to fight back, defend your honor, make them recognize your worth. But you, operating from a place of egoless strength, simply observe the insult, recognize it as their issue, not yours, and move on completely unbothered. Why? because your dignity isn't contingent on their opinion. Your value doesn't require their acknowledgement. Your peace doesn't depend on their behavior. This is what true invincibility looks like. Not the ability to dominate others, but the complete immunity to being disturbed by them. Try this practice. For 1 week, operate as if you're entitled to nothing. Expect no particular treatment. Demand no recognition. Require no validation. And watch what happens to your anger levels. They'll plummet. Because here's the secret. Most anger is just ego maintenance. You're not actually protecting something real. You're protecting an image, a status, a narrative about who you are and how you should be treated. But the moment you release those demands, you become free. People can say whatever they want. It doesn't touch you. Situations can unfold however they will. You're not attached to a specific outcome. Recognition comes or doesn't come. Your value remains unchanged in your own eyes, which is the only place it matters. This doesn't make you a doormat. It makes you a mountain. Unmovable, unshakable, unbothered by the weather at its base. Lower the ego. Raise your power. It's not about what you deserve. It's about what you need to be free. Strategy 7. Master the art of de-escalation. Let's talk about the snowball effect. You know exactly what I mean because you've lived it. It starts with something small. A sarcastic comment, a dismissive look, a minor inconvenience, nothing catastrophic. But then you respond. They respond to your response. The intensity escalates. Voices rise. Old grievances get dragged in. Before you know it, you're in a full-scale war over something that started as nothing. And here's the tragic part. You can see it happening. In real time, you know it's spiraling. You know you're both saying things you'll regret. You know this is going to cause damage that's hard to repair. But you can't stop. Because stopping feels like losing. This is where your final strategy becomes critical. You must develop the strength to stop the escalation before it reaches the point of no return. The ancient philosophers understood something that modern culture has forgotten. Real power isn't in the ability to escalate. Anyone can do that. Real power is in the ability to de-escalate, to stop the spiral, to be the person who breaks the destructive pattern. This looks different depending on the situation. Sometimes it means physically removing yourself from the environment before you say something irreparable. Sometimes it means simply not responding when everything in you wants to get the last word. Sometimes it means letting someone think they won because you understand that the real victory is in preserving your peace and the relationship. Here's what this requires. You have to value long-term outcomes over short-term satisfaction. The momentary pleasure of delivering that perfect cutting comeback? It's nothing compared to the lasting damage it can cause. The satisfaction of winning the argument, meaningless compared to losing the relationship. Most people prioritize being right over being effective. They'd rather prove their point and scorch the earth than exercise wisdom and preserve what matters. But you're not most people. You understand that the wise person doesn't fear confrontation. They just don't chase it. They don't need to have the last word because they're not trying to prove anything. They let fools burn themselves out while watching from a higher vantage point. Here's your implementation strategy. Identify your personal point of no return. That moment in an escalating conflict where you know that if you go one step further, you're crossing into damage that's hard to undo. Maybe it's when you start bringing up past issues. Maybe it's when voices reach a certain volume. Maybe it's when specific words are about to come out. Whatever that point is for you, mark it clearly in your consciousness and make a commitment. When I reach this point, I stop. Not because I'm weak, not because I'm wrong, but because I'm wise enough to value what matters. This might look like saying, I need a break from this conversation, and leaving the room. It might mean putting your phone down and not sending that text you've typed and retyped. It might mean literally biting your tongue, not metaphorically, but actually creating a physical sensation to interrupt the pattern. The key is this: you must choose relationship over righteousness. Choose long-term peace over momentary vindication. Choose wisdom over winning. Because here's the truth: the most destructive force in human relationships isn't anger itself. It's unchecked anger that's allowed to escalate until it destroys everything valuable. And preventing that destruction is entirely within your power. Be the person who breaks the cycle. Be the one who values the relationship more than the argument. Be the one who stops the spiral before it reaches the point of no return. That's not weakness. That's mastery. And it's the final piece of the puzzle in transforming anger from your master into your tool. So here we are. 7 strategies that, when integrated into your daily life, will completely transform your relationship with anger. Intercept the physical uprising through conscious breathing. Dismantle the internal narrative by stripping away fiction and dealing only with facts. Embrace radical expectation by mentally preparing for difficulty. Transform opposition into training by viewing difficult people as teachers. Channel the energy outward through purposeful physical action. Eliminate the ego's demands by releasing your sense of entitlement. Master the art of de-escalation by choosing wisdom over winning. These aren't just techniques. They're a complete philosophy for living with power and peace simultaneously. And here's what makes them so potent. They've been tested not for years or decades, but for millennia. These principles have guided warriors, leaders, and wise individuals through the harshest circumstances imaginable. But here's the critical part. Knowledge without application is useless. You can understand every word of this video and still remain exactly where you are if you don't actually implement these strategies. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. Choose one strategy, just one, and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Maybe you'll focus on breathing exercises before responding in heated moments. Maybe you'll start a daily practice of expecting difficulty. Maybe you'll begin channeling anger into immediate physical action. Whatever you choose, do it with full commitment. Because here's the truth. Mastery isn't about perfection. It's about progression. Every time you pause instead of explode, you're winning. Every time you choose the narrative over the story, you're getting stronger. Every time you transform angry energy into productive action, you're building the life you actually want. Anger will never disappear from your life completely, nor should it. Anger is information. It's energy. It's a signal that something matters to you. The goal isn't to eliminate it. The goal is to master it, to be its director instead of its victim. The world needs more people who can remain calm in chaos. More individuals who can face provocation with composure. More humans who understand that real strength isn't measured by how hard you can hit, but by how much you can endure without breaking. That person can be you. That person should be you. But it only happens through consistent practice, relentless self-awareness, and the courage to choose differently when every instinct is screaming at you to explode. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to our channel. We're here to provide you with practical wisdom that actually works. Not feel-good theories, but battle-tested strategies for building an exceptional life. And if you know someone who struggles with anger, and, let's be honest, that's most people, share this video with them. Sometimes the right message at the right moment can change the entire trajectory of someone's life. Your anger doesn't control you. You control it. Starting now. Now, go prove it.